Welcome to my first review, everyone. My name is TFP Freckles, and today we're looking at IronFactory's The Collector. Now, this looks to be the 59th figure they've made. This figure is a tiny yet imposing Legends class figure. I'm not a huge Pipes fan, but I couldn't care less who he is as a person. But from what I hear, he likes to, as his name implies, collect. He likes to hoard things, and supposedly, according to his character bio, he has a whole section in the Ark where the Autobots just give him a corner for him to put all his stuff, and I think that's kind of amusing. I vaguely remember buying Pipes for around $30, which is on par for third-party Legends class figures. I don't think it should be $30, but I'm not terribly upset about it. The figure comes in this small cutesy box, showing off what Pipes looks like, his alt mode, and some of the poses you can put him in. Like the figure, the box is mostly blue and white, with a clear window showing the small figure inside. The third-party name is written on the sides and front alongside the number 59. Then, on the back, a QR code links to video instructions on the off chance you can't read. Once you've opened the box and let Pipes out, the figure speaks to IronFactory's quality. They have a fascinating style, and the figure holds up relatively well. Like, obviously, if you have a big dog or some animal that likes eating your stuff, keep it as far away as possible. They are going to chew right through this. The painting and sculpting of the figure are rather impressive. His red paint stands out in a sea of blue. This thick, monochromatic eye reminds me of Gort from the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. He comes with just instructions and multiple pairs of hands for more posing options. Plus, the other colors are distinct and have held up. As far as I can see, there's been no yellowing despite the amount of white on this figure. It's an adorable-looking figure while simultaneously being a modern reinterpretation of the original character. His original alt mode had him turn into a small pickup truck. They may have a bunch of them in Japan, and the design itself is pretty straightforward. Is it my favorite? No, not really. It makes him look dopey, and I prefer the Moon Rover look that he has. Along with blue and white, Pipes has a hidden shade of silver on his back and smokestacks. It's easily noticeable in his alt mode and accentuates the colors. The smokestacks on his arms can detach and become his weapons. They're not very impressive weapons, mind you, but they're still weapons nonetheless. Now, the figure is relatively posable, just like many of other IronFactory figures. Well, it does have some minor problems, like the legs not being able to kick up all the way or the hands falling off. The figure holds up compared to other figures of its size class. It completely demolishes the core class figures, and it poses well, it looks distinctive, and any Pipes fan would be impressed with it. Along with the aforementioned legs, his arms can spin around and he has a double hinge joint for the transformation. His head can look down, though you can make it look unnatural by pulling it all the way down. His ankles are on a ball joint, so that gives you a whole world of posing possibilities. You can untab his calf for even more forward posing capabilities, though that's more so for the transformation. IronFactory has a habit of making their figures nearly impossible to transform enjoyably. They often have poor tolerances or don't peg together all that well. The only thing I can really identify wrong with this figure is the hands falling off at a glance. But other than that, it holds up well. Now let's get started on the transformation. Now the first thing you have to do is move the head down. The backpack unfurls for a future step in the transformation process. There's a little gray tab under the white bed that you must also fold out. Next, you fold the backpack over Pipe's head and keep it there. Now the backpack itself can collapse and be moved into separate places. You have to make sure the larger blue bit is behind the white bit. Make it look like the Moon Rover has an underbite. The next step is to twist the wrist all the way around, and then you twist the bicep as well. This will help sort of hide it, though very poorly. That's kind of what a lot of IronFactory figures do. Do the same thing on the other side. What you do now is plug in the tab on the inner arm into the torso so that it holds the arms in place. Otherwise, they're just going to flail everywhere. The next step is twisting the waist 180 degrees. Then, you'll have to unpeg the calf panel so that you allow his feet the full range of motion required to complete transformation. Now the next step is to connect the legs together. Since the foot is on a ball joint, you should be able to push the foot down and lift the toe separately from the foot. Once you do this, you'll have to fold the double jointed knees so that the feet can connect with the gray pegs. The feet should have little holes that the gray tab will be able to connect to. Fold the knees, and then make sure everything fits together properly. It's all going to seem fiddly, and it's not going to feel very good, but once you sort of mush everything together, then you'll have your completed rover. This Moon Rover alt mode appeals to me personally. It fits the idea of Pipes collecting items and looking for stuff to put in his trinket jar. The blues in the robot mode now coat the vehicle mode, and the white sticks to the sides near the wheels. The silver accent shines through the blues and whites, adding to the sparse mechanical detail. Now that everything is pressed together, it actually holds relatively well and rolls without any trouble. I can't tell what sort of rover it's supposed to be. Like, I call it a moon rover, but it could be a Mars rover for all I know. I'm not sure if it's some sort of IDW reference or something like that, but I don't really care. Pipe's smokestacks can be removed or pointed forward for some front gun action, but I like to keep it as it is. It's a neat little alt mode with very few gaps, and besides the hands, I don't think people would immediately be able to tell it was a transformer. Now to transform it back from vehicle to robot mode, you do everything I did but in reverse. I don't know why I decided to describe how to transform it. It was boring, and I doubt anyone cares all that much. It's not a bad transformation, but it's not great either. He just sort of does yoga until he looks different, which I think is why people do yoga, but you get my point. He'd be a solid addition and can hold his own against figures of his size class, but not much else. I'd give the figure a 3 out of 5. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos I make. I'll hopefully see you soon.